Hi there and welcome to my channel. It's Krista here for your weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't already know your Moon and Rising sign, Sagittarius, check out the description box for a link to alwaysastrology.com. Just plug in for your information there and it'll give you a snapshot of your whole birth chart. If for any reason today's reading doesn't resonate with you, Sagittarius, you can check out your Moon and Rising sign readings and see if those help with any additional messages for you. That being said, I do hope that this reading does appeal to you and resonate with you in a healing manner. So I do feel that all signs need extra and additional healing this week. So I'll be using the central card spread. I'll be doing the central card spread with the Healing with the Angels Oracle deck. And then for additional guidance, I'll be pulling from the Medicine Card Tarot and from the Wisdom of the Oracle Tarot. It's the same as I did last week, so a 3-card spread with a general, a central issue, 2 qualifying cards, and the bottom of the deck for general energy for the week. And to reach me or learn more about me, why I do this, and my ebook, that's in the description box as well, including links to the cards that I use. So, Sagittarius, let's begin. I wish for Sagittarius all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangel Metatron, Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Mother Gaia to please bless this reading for Sagittarius. I regret that this is up later than I wanted it to be. I don't know if any of you have had allergies before, but I just had a bout of them really bad for the first time, and I really couldn't talk that well. So I'm much better now, so I'm back to the rest of the readings. So thanks for your patience. Also, Sagittarius, we're coming out of Taurus in retrograde this past month. April might have been upsetting for you when it came to possessions, art, beauty, affiliations, romance, anything having to do with material goods, the material world, even plumbing, landscaping, but hair and nails and makeup included. Anything having to do with the planet Venus and the sign Taurus was in retrograde for just over a month. We're coming out of that now. I think tomorrow, May 3rd, is when we're finally pulling out of that, and then there'll be residual effects for the following week. But things should be feeling a little bit more smooth beginning this week for you, Sagittarius. So if any of that has been upsetting, any of those issues have been upsetting for you this week, I do hope that those come to a close finally. So already we've got blessings for your central position. The central position card always relates to the Inquirer, the sign that I'm reading for. So you're incredibly blessed. Not that this is, reaching. I find Sagittarians are one of the luckiest, most blessed signs, particularly because you have Jupiter as your ruling planet. And Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It's the planet of expansion. Sagittarius is a fire sign, so even if you are in conflict easily, or don't get along with somebody, you tend to brush things off really quickly or get over things really quickly. You're not the type of personality to hang out with people you don't like or get along with either, but you're not going to hold grudges or try to get back at anybody or anything like that. I think to most Sagittarians that would just feel like wasted effort, and you would rather have a good time. You're also really outspoken. I wouldn't say critical in the sense that, say, Virgo is, which is, you know, we need to be critical of things. It's a necessity. I think that Sagittarian has going for it more of a skepticism, you know, like a healthy skepticism. So anyway, just giving you an idea of why I think Blessings is a lovely card to have in your central position, because you probably already feel pretty blessed or are able to look at the large picture if there are troubles this week or if you're coming out of trouble this week. This reading is for April 30th to May 6th. So if you find this week, if things are coming down or finally going your way, or you were beginning to feel uptight about something, or you were beginning to feel as though you want to seek revenge or, you know, get back at somebody, you know, you're going to feel like more like yourself this week. And you'll be like, oh, I'm so glad that feeling is gone. Or it's being able to look at the macro, the large picture, macro relationships, big picture everything. But not to discount the probability of hard work here either, right? I don't think you expect things or even have things handed to you. I think that you're lucky in a lot of ways that other signs aren't, because you have a knack for being at the right place at the right time, for example. But, you know, is that luck or is that common sense, right? Are you really just dedicated to what you want to do and what you enjoy, and you don't kid yourself about it, and you're winding up at the right place at the right time? Whereas other signs could look at that as a luck, right? Or feel lucky because it doesn't happen with frequency. I think for most Sagittarians, this is something that happens with frequency, but not by accident. So we're just looking for one more card to go to the left of Blessings. So far we have Ideas and Inspiration as the card to the right of Blessings, and this could very well be why you feel blessed this week. So these are two whole different worlds, right? An idea is something that follows inspiration. However, an idea could create inspiration. So depending on, because it's a general reading, depending on how this fits into your week, Sagittarius, you could very well have an idea that leads to inspiration or vice versa. You feel inspired to come up with an idea for something that you feel blessed to be able to look at differently this week. Or maybe you hadn't even heard of it before, and you didn't realize how important it would become to you. You might not even know, for example, this week, Sagittarius. I'm just looking at the details of the card. And we'll look at that closely in just a moment, but she's got a little cherub sort of whispering in her ear. And she's overlooking a garden, so if you are feeling inspired this week, I wouldn't discount it. Not for all the tea in China. Don't discount any inspiration, even if it feels insignificant or unimportant, or alternately an idea. If you have an idea this week, I wouldn't discount it or consider it unimportant. All right, and then to the left of Blessings is the card Friendship. So friendship in the deck really relates to changes in relationships, finding the friends who relate to you best, and really being that friend to others that you have the most in common with. However, this card does have a little bit of a caveat in the sense of changes in friendships. So it doesn't mean the discarding of friendships. It doesn't mean that you'll be discarded necessarily. But because it is to the opposite of ideas and inspiration, you may find that if you are guided toward new inspirations, new ideas, new concepts, ways of being, belief systems, etc. That by virtue of this, your friendships will change. So you might see some old friendships go. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to end badly or anything like that, but it could just be a growth, a matter of growing, right? As long as we're alive, we're always growing, and certainly if you've got ideas and inspiration, and because this is so prominent, that it will certainly impact your friendships. And having new friends is a beautiful thing. And it could mean that you're spending simply more time with these new friends that you have more in common with, or share these ideas and inspirations with, than you did with your older peer group or your older friends. It could also be something as simple, Sagittarius, as either traveling or having someone travel to see you that brings you new ideas and inspiration that you hadn't conceptualized before, and that person doesn't live with or around you, and you didn't think you had these things in common. But now you know, and it changes the relationship. It makes it deeper, right? So that could very well be what's going on this week, Sagittarius, as well. So we'll look at those in detail in just a moment. The bottom of the deck for general energy, we have the card Serenity, which is just beautiful for you, Sagittarius, particularly because, oh, I'm trying to see all the cards here, because there is so much action here. Right? So blessings is, and I mean like mental and emotional action. Blessings is a feeling blessed. However, right, maybe buy a lotto ticket this week. I mean, like I said at the beginning, you are Sagittarius, being ruled by the planet Jupiter, is the luckiest sign in the solar system. So this week, Sagittarius, why not buy yourself an extra lottery ticket and see what happens? But you feel blessed regardless. I don't feel like you have poverty vision. I don't think that you play lotto in order to win. I just think that you do it for fun anyway. So I would continue to do it for fun if you were to do that. And regardless of what the lotto brings, or if you decide to play that, I do think that you will feel blessed by these friendships or by these camaraderies that you share, these newfound, probably, ideas and inspirations with. You might even feel like a new vigor or a new chance at something, even to understand something you didn't look at or want to look at even a couple years ago. You're going to look at now and get a lot of support with. And you'll be feeling just really in your own, really calm and secure and safe. You have two very protective cards. Not only is your overall energy with Serenity here, but the Blessings card in the center being your central, which is related directly to the Inquirer, which is supposed to be your card this week, and then these are the things going on with you. So Serenity and Blessings, two really cool words to think of this week. I don't feel like you're going to be under any angst or issues of upset this week at all. In fact, this looks like a really beautifully productive and loving week for you and for people around you. Lots of support, a great deal of peace, peaceful energy. So let's look a little bit closer at the Blessings card. We've got an angel who's overlooking an entire village and just sprinkling roses and other flowers over the village. And if you're feeling this way, then that's marvelous. If you're feeling like sort of manna from heaven, or everything you've ever wanted is available to you, or there's nothing you need, is a very beautiful, peaceful feeling, Sagittarius. And many people yearn for this regularly. A lot of individuals go through a great deal of angst because they're, unnecessarily, because they get wrapped up in things. I think there's a time and a place to let things go, and there's a time to, what's it called when you go over something over and over? Starts with an R. Anyway, ruminate. There is a time and a place for all these things, right? And reflection and all these things. And like I said near the beginning, Sagittarius doesn't have to worry about getting stuck on things, where some other signs do. And I think whether or not you're aware of this, it could even be subconscious this week, where you consider this a blessing for yourself. You might even be frustrated with other people who consistently do this to themselves, right? Who cling to problems, cling to issues, tell stories of woe, right? All the time, or what have you. And you're like, oh, I'm really lucky, and I never really considered how lucky before. So that could be one way of determining this this term for yourself this week. Just a sense of blessing. That you feel blessed, that you're able to give to others, and that you feel very supported. Not unusual, right, Sagittarius? And then we have ideas and inspiration to the right of blessings for you. Again, like I mentioned, we have the cute little cherub in the woman's ear, giving her what could be the idea or the inspiration, or perhaps the inspiration arose from her and she created the idea. Either way, these are beautiful because they are inventive. Even if it's just one, or one comes before the other, or one, this one now, this one later. However this appears through your week for you, Sagittarius, I think it's really exciting. Really exciting. Particularly to such an intelligent and yet skeptical sign, such as Sagittarius. This could be very liberating for you, because getting to talk about ideas and even being inspired to talk about them, or to have ideas that create inspiration in your life, perhaps even feel like a new life, or they give you life, and they certainly impact your friendships, right? So here is the friendship card, like I mentioned. It does mean close relationships, but it also means that these will be shifting. It doesn't mean that something has to go wrong for it to shift, but it could be that very well that these ideas and inspiration over the next few weeks for you, Sagittarius, could have you encountering the notion that you'll need to visit for yourself why you have certain friendships, what they mean to you, and what they bring to the grand scheme of this expansive knowledge base that you're interested in, right? If you're experiencing ideas and inspiration, that is an expansion, a mental expansion. So it's important to be loving and honest with yourself. Perhaps loving and honest with a really close friend. Perhaps this idea and inspiration is about having this conversation, but it could very well be that you'll be meeting new people, because new friendships will be formed rather because of this new development, which again isn't going to be upsetting, and this is not going to be upsetting in any way. This isn't going to upturn an apple cart for you. I think you're going to be seeking something, or this inspiration or idea will be in alignment with the path you're already on, or are already comfortable with. I don't see any upheaval or great disruption here for you, Sagittarius. But it's really exciting to see ideas and inspiration here, particularly in conjunction with serenity and blessings, where this seems like the right time and the right moment for you to come to this new information or these new concepts. So very cool. You're not going to be taken aback by anything. I don't think anything is going to be confusing this week. If anything this week, Sagittarius, what you might find is that you feel consciously or subconsciously more blessed than you had considered before. And that could be the idea, right? Or it could be completely opposite, and the ideas and the inspirations, the changes in friendship, the feeling serene while undergoing all this is the sense of blessing. Like, oh, you can get through anything, you know. Change is not something to be feared necessarily, right, Sagittarius? It's to be welcome, especially when you're ready for it, especially when you're inspired to it, and especially when you're willing to be honest with yourself and with your friendships and peer group. You're not really a sign to hold back anyway. Like, I just don't see this being, I don't see anything secretive here. There's nothing secretive or, you know, being withheld here. So no concerns there. I'm just going to look for some additional messages from the Medicine Card Tarot deck. Oops, almost had a jumper. I know some people like to shuffle and cut the deck and pull from the center of the deck, or just take the top cards. I've read cards so many different ways, and those were the tried and true years ago. And this is just the most comfortable thing in the world for me now. Reading the way I do now is to just get jumper cards. So sometimes it means the video goes a lot longer than I wanted to, or that you probably wanted to, because I'm not just going to pull a card. So bear with me here. One will fly out, I promise. It's this little guy. All right. So Dragonfly is the card of illusion. So this just could mean two things so far this week in accordance with the spread, Sagittarius. It could just mean that you are being led to a sense of disillusionment, or illusions are around the corner because of an inability to ask the right questions or to seek commentary or advice from people that you trust or would be in the know. But I'm not seeing that. That is one definition of the card, but I'm not seeing that in conjunction with your reading this week. I think this week for you, Sagittarius, the card of illusion could be a sense of leaving it behind, where perhaps you're seeing this for the first time. You're seeing a sense of illusionment for the first time. This could very well have to do with your health. That just struck me. This could have to do with your health, where you're unable to put something off anymore, or you're being forced to face something that deserves your attention. But ultimately, the card of illusion is asking you, what this week are you illusory about, and what do you need to come to terms with or back to earth about? Are you creating illusions? Are you letting them lead you? I don't see it overpowering anything this week. There's not a sense of being delusional, but certainly looking at something that might have created illusion or even disillusionment for you this past week. And then we have the yin, which is the polar opposite to the yang. It's the number 2 in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. It's highly pink. It's a very feminine card. It's about receptivity. It's about the moon, femininity. It's about a lot of things having to do with women in general. If this is a health issue, this could have to do with the reproductive system. It's in letting someone else make the first move and the art of conscious allowing. So this is a rather still card. Like I said, as opposed to the yang, which is an action card, right? It's male orientated. Its planet is the sun. This planet is the moon. It's very feminine. It's very feeling, very emotional. Perhaps you've been illusioned about your emotions, or you're coming out of illusion about your emotions necessarily this week, Sagittarius. Not an entirely comfortable place for fire signs to be in, even though they're very feeling signs, feeling generated, not necessarily emotional. You might find something has tripped you up recently, or you're coming out of something this week that has tripped you up emotionally, and you're seeing through it. So that got way too long. I hope you don't mind the length of the video. I really hope that this appealed to you and that you drew something healing from the video, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments below, and I will see you next week for your next weekly reading. Bye for now.